so this year, no doubt, and no exception, starring his right-hand man, if you will, who's in a lot of his films. You've got your Morgan Freeman playing Nelson Mandela, who the film starts at the beginning. The film starts right after he's released from Robben Island Prison in South Africa. He's released in 1990, goes straight to work trying to solve all of that.
Very quickly
newly
elected
president, trying to solve all of the ills of South Africa, including apartheid, getting democracy involved, bridging the gap between whites and blacks, which of course is a very large rift there, and does so in this film through the power of rugby.
The power of rugby, as it often is used.
And a blonde Matt Damon. Now later in the program we'll be discussing our LRFF topic, best sports films, or the 5 sports films you'd show in your own living room film festival. That's coming up later.
Who would have thought you'd have Matt Damon as the star of a sports movie?
Matt Damon stock's rising in the Joe Hilliard film world. I really enjoyed The Informant.
As a matter of fact, I believe he's nominated for The Informant and for Invictus with the Golden Globes.
I really enjoy his Bourne movies very much, and I enjoy Emil Oceans and all whatever. But Matt Damon is almost, you could take him out of the film. I don't even think of Matt Damon even being involved in the film much, outside of being a nice name actor on the marquee. This is Morgan Freeman's film. It's a Nelson Mandela film. The rugby plays second fiddle to the strategizing and political nuances of Nelson Mandela in his mind.
Matt Damon just plays the guy on the rugby team. Like there has to be
captain.
One actual actor on the rugby team that Nelson Mandela goes to and talks to.
So we're about to talk about the best sports films or sports films that we like or whatever it is coming up in a little bit. So sports films have real power, and there are sports films that stand the test of time. And before I go into more editorializing, let me ask you, I mean, with that kind of backdrop as the plot synopsis of the film, what did you think?
I think it's a film that will be shown in high schools, maybe in history classes, maybe in like sports classes when they ran out of the other ones or something. I hate to say that because I'm a Clint Eastwood fan.
You like Clint Eastwood.
Listeners
of this show know that you're a fan.
Yeah, I love Gran Torino
as a director.
The Unforgiven, as an actor,
sure.
But this movie is just kind
Get
of
off of my lawn.
That movie, Gran Torino, was interesting.
It was better than this.
It was better than this.
Go ahead.
This was very much, I hate to say this, Clint, but it was this paint by numbers, important historical film with relevant social content, but nothing that's really going to make you uncomfortable, right? This has supposedly political content, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. But there's no way it's going to make you feel like outraged, I don't think, right? Like if you can be conservative, you can be liberal.
It's not a frame of history where there is outrage to be felt, because this is a very optimistic time in the life of South Africa.
No, but it could be very different. I mean, it could play this stuff up very different ways. Anyway, well, we can go more into that in a second, but it was competent filmmaking. It was Clint Eastwood. It was Morgan Freeman does a great job as Nelson Mandela. Matt Damon, like you said, I don't think he emotes the entire movie. It's just like
maybe he's such a great actor that he was playing the straight man to the degree where he was a supporting actor in the best sense of the word. He was supporting Morgan Freeman in his performance.
I think he did a good job. I think the performances were good, but the film, and I enjoyed watching.
Sure.
Rugby.
It was 2 hours and 20 minutes long. It kind of flew by. I was enjoying myself during the
competent filmmaking, but it's interesting.
I can easily list 20 films better than this that I've seen in 2009, and not 15. But the question becomes then, why is this getting so much Golden Globe buzz and probably Oscar buzz? Why does Clint Eastwood, is he resting on some real success that he gets a pass? Is it just because it's that December Clint Eastwood film?
I don't think
is it because it's social commentary that you really can't criticize?
It's because it's all like paint by the numbers. It's like high production values. Morgan Freeman,
swelling score at the end.
I mean, complete with like slow motion sports sequences, which was really where it just crossed the line. And some of the songs are just really cheesy and terrible. About let's come together. And race doesn't matter.
I'm gonna say this. It's a difficult film to criticize because it's historically interesting.
Yeah,
no doubt about it. Matt Damon and his rugby team take a trip to Nelson Mandela's.
The prison where he was for 28 years.
Right, that's fascinating. I don't know. I haven't done the research, but it probably is the real prison.
Yeah,
You know, they got the budget. But there's a lot of weaknesses in this film. Morgan Freeman is great in Shawshank Redemption. He's great in $1 Million Baby. He's great in
this isn't an impersonation, right?
Yeah.
It's just like, I'm sure he did a great job of imitating Nelson Mandela. But there's never any, like, it doesn't really focus on his character in a way where he himself, like, it's about this team.
Yeah.
But it's never about him working really hard to convince everyone that this is the thing to do. He just does it.
I kind of learned that Morgan Freeman is a one-note performer who does his one note here with really, really bad fake teeth. You know what I'm saying? Because Nelson Mandela has a very known smile.
Yeah.
And even though there really are a few shots where he has a spitting image of Mandela when he's making that big Mandela smile and kind of waving.
Yeah, he does a great job of imitating.
There's great moments of humor in the film.
Do you think so?
Yeah, there's the interplay between the two, the black and the white security forces.
But again, that just comes off as so
You're right.
cliche.
There's great moments of triumphing kind of human experience where the blacks and the whites bridge that cultural divide. The one that really comes to mind is when Matt Damon's parents' maid has a little kind of good moment. So therefore, and look, I'm going to criticize Blindside again without having seen it. I bet there's a lot of similar moments in Blindside where the blacks and the whites finally come together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because you know it's coming,
and
it's ultimately a weakness.
Aside their differences and are like, you know what? Let's just get along.
Yeah. Can you boil down the problems with this movie into one aspect of kind of filmmaking in general? Because I have. It's
what is it?
Script. This is the clunkiest script I have ever seen from a film that's getting serious kind of Oscar contention and Golden Globe contention.
And I think that stuff is going to go away. And I want to talk.
It has to go away.
The Golden Globe stuff. I have this thing I get off. You know, it is just a scam.
Oh, I know.
The Golden Globes is just even worse than the Oscars.
But the Golden Globes becomes that precursor to Oscar.
But it's just a pure marketing, and whoever spends the money, they get the Golden Globes. Period. You know.
Well, look,
the nominations.
Yeah, there's so much exposition in this film. You got characters talking to the audience. You know, what do you think about Nelson Mandela? You know, the black group, the black security force and the white security force talking, just so that you can kind of know conversations that would never happen in real life because they're both aged security forces that know how to talk about what
But having said that,
the movie infuriates me. I thought it was very, very poor, and it was really, really poor for Clint Eastwood, who I can list right now 5 to 7 films that are far, far. In other words, he's a director that knows story. He's a director that knows a good script versus the bad script. We've seen him direct plenty of great scripts. This script was so clunky. The exposition was so puke-inducing. I get angry with audiences that I know are watching this film and seeing blacks and whites get together and the winning kick going to the thing, that are going to say, I saw a good movie because I felt good 2 or 3 times, rather than being able to be critical about I'm being force-fed.
I actually didn't feel like it was
bad.
I actually felt like, I didn't feel it was that bad. I didn't like it. I thought it was forgettable.
With the saving graces of production value. Exactly. Yeah, sure.
I actually thought that it could have been a lot worse in terms of exposition. I thought
it was bad, dude.
I know, but it didn't. I know, but it did. It really could have explained stuff a lot more, like that we as Americans don't know about, like with them changing the song that they have to sing. Like they could really over-explain that stuff, and they kind of just let some of it go. Mm-hmm. But I'm giving it a lot of credit.
There's a scene where Nelson Mandela passes out because he's exhausted, and then 2 minutes later in the film, it's like that never even happened. So what was the point? It was just.
You know, and the bottom line is it's bad. Let's just face it. Here we are, episode 37.
Right.
We can say it. It's been a lousy year for movies. It has.
I look forward to in a couple of weeks us doing our respective top 10s.
There's been a couple of good ones, but the only reason this one's getting talked about is because it's been a bad year.
And because it's a Clint Eastwood film.
Well, but you know.
I can think of 5. I can think of 7 films right now that I would nominate for a Golden Globe besides this piece of crap.
I know, but what I'm saying is last year it didn't happen. Maybe they're
Invictus is the name of a poem, and I want to write the poem, put it in Matt Damon's hand, and then they don't really talk about the poem, and then it's just stupid.
I know. Don't blame it on Clint. It's not his fault.